Fellas, welcome back to Today in Combat. Another day, another freaking wild one in the UFC. Dana White just dropped a certified bomb on the boys. He announced fights for 314, he announced fights for 315, and it is a wild, wild mess. Ilia Topuria has vacated the belt. Volkanovski's taken on Diego Lopez. The card under that's absolutely fucking stacked. Jack Della Maddalena got pulled out of the Leon Edwards fight in London. He's now fighting for the belt against Bilal Muhammad. The whole fucking thing is wild. The whole fucking thing is wild. I gotta fucking break this thing down. I was so ready. I was editing my video. I'm getting ready to schedule it on YouTube. And then bomb drop Dana White. Holy shit, we're back in business. And you'll even notice in the program with Cody, we're talking about there hasn't been a lot of fights announced. We're talking about what should we do next with Sean Brady. Well, it all just got answered. The world of combat sports just changed. I'm fucking buzzing right now. I'm buzzing right now. Swear to God, before I watched that live, I was sitting on my couch and I was watching Paddy Pimblett Cage Warrior highlights. That's what I was doing. And then Paddy Pimblett gets announced versus Michael Chandler. We'll get to that because that's like the 7th most important piece of news that came out of Dana White's mouth tonight. Holy shit. Let's start with the fact that Ilia Topuria has vacated the featherweight belt. The second that Alexander Volkanovski and Diego Lopez throw hands, Ilia Topuria is no longer the champion at 145. He's going up to 155. Bombshell right there. A bombshell. Of course, we've heard him talking about he wants to fight Islam, he wants to fight 155, but it was always under the pretext of champ versus champ. He's fought 155 before. Jai Herbert, who he fucking slaughtered, he did take a nasty head kick and almost get knocked out, but sent Jai Herbert to the slaughterhouse at 155. We've seen him there. Who do we match him up with against? I mean, do you go immediately for Islam Topuria? It kind of makes sense now if Ilia Topuria is no longer the champion at 145. He's now just sliding in at 155. He's a 155-pound fighter, and I'd say he's earned the title shot, knocking out Max Holloway, who wins at 155 against Justin Gaethje, and knocking out Alexander Volkanovski, who obviously had a very competitive first fight with Islam Makhachev. He's now just a 155er. I don't know if he immediately slides into the rankings. I don't know how that works, but Islam does need a fight. I mean, of course, we missed out on the Arman fight. We were kind of assuming Charles Oliveira would be next. Could he still be? Or is Arman still next? Is Islam next? Let's just pretend, because I think that's option number one. We all know that that's option number one. And if Ilia goes out there and goes Volk, Max, Islam, fucking crown him. Fucking crown him. But let's just stick away from that. Let's pretend that that fight's not going to happen. Islam's already booked. And let's just look at who else, what other fun matchups we can make for Ilia Topuria at 155, because it's a whole new world. The oyster just fucking opened up and we're staring at a pretty little pearl in the middle. What the fuck is going on? Okay. First of all, either the Arman or Charles Oliveira fight would be fantastic. That might actually make sense. Say Charles gets the belt, he gets the shot. He was in the wing waiting for that after a Michael Chandler win. Dana said Arman's not getting the next shot. Maybe we make Arman Ilia Topuria for a #1 contender fight back to the belt. I like that. That makes sense. Justin Gaethje's already got a fight. Hooker's got a fight. Poirier, you don't think that he's going to do his retirement fight against Ilia Topuria? I wouldn't recommend it. I would not recommend it. Max is 5. Of course, he just knocked him out. Chandler just got booked against Paddy Pimblett. That's probably the fight to make. If you're not doing Islam, it's going to be Sarukian or Oliveira, whoever's not getting the shot. I love all 3 of those fights. I love all 3 of those fights for different reasons. First of all, the star power in either the Islam Ilia fight or the star power in the Charles Oliveira Ilia fight, stadium worthy. Fucking massive fights. Arman, I'm not saying, He doesn't have star power, but just doesn't have the name yet. But it offers a unique challenge. But he's Armenian. I don't know. I fucking love it. 155 just got fatter. 155 just got fatter, and Ilia Topuria is the man that did it. I mean, we could really be going on a historic run. It can't get double champ status now, which kind of sucks, but who really gives a shit? 2 belts or not. You know, he's the lineal champ at 145 if he can pick up the 155 belt. Islam is the fight to make. Islam is the fight to make. And there's no excuse now. It's no, I've already gave the smaller guy a shot. I'm not fighting for somebody else's belt. If Islam's staying at 55, you make the Islam fight. You just do. You just do. Fuck, that's exciting, brother. That is exciting freaking stuff. Okay, Ilia Topuria is out of the way. Bombshell. Holy shit. It doesn't stop there, though, because basically 99% of the UFC 314 card got announced, and maybe even more than 99%. It might have been the whole goddamn thing. I don't know. But stacked from top to bottom, and a lot of shit on here that, you know, of course, with Ilia leaving, you didn't expect. Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. Love that fight. I love that fight. Big spot for Diego Lopez, right? Takes on Brian Ortega, hopping into the title shot. And we kind of felt like he was there. The potential was there. There was always kind of rumblings of this. Because Volk wanted to fight and Ilia wasn't necessarily ready. I don't know if he was injured or was just kind of enjoying his time as a champion. But I love that fight. Then we go Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett, which is just so fun. It's just so fun. I told you I was watching Cage Warriors, Paddy Pimblett highlights, just having a good dandy time. And then this fight pops up. That's, you know, Michael Chandler loses out on Conor McGregor, but then he gets Charles Oliveira and Paddy Pimblett. That's pretty. Chandler's the definition of fun fighter, have a good time, let's fucking do it. I love that fight. And I think it is a unique stylistic matchup because, of course, Chandler's got a good wrestling base. He's got heavy hands. He's a fast starter. Paddy's been hit, but Paddy's jiu-jitsu is so fucking quick, snappy. He's got good leg. He's got good kicks. Super interesting fight. We seen Chandler get choked out. Poirier choked him out, didn't he? Oliveira couldn't do it though. It's just fun. It's just fun. And it's 5 rounds. It's a 5-round co-main event on 214. Paddy Pimblett going championship rounds. Michael Chandler, been there, done that. That's nothing new for him, but fuck, that's fun. Doesn't stop there. Patricio Pitbull, who's been calling for a UFC contract, gets it. And gets the assignment of Yair Rodriguez. Now we know why Yair and Diego Lopez wasn't made for Mexico City, which I think they were toting for. Obviously, we didn't know the background situation of Ilia leaving the division, but of course there was rumblings for Yair and Diego Lopez in Mexico City. That would have been fucking huge. But I'm not mad at this. Yair Rodriguez, Patricio Pitbull, Patricio making his UFC debut, and Yair is, Dana said in the video, a highlight machine, an unorthodox striker, king of fight of the nights, like just so much fun. Carlos Prates, Jeff Neal, I love that fight. Carlos Prates working up the ranking. Tough assignment for Jeff Neal. He came out pretty unscathed against RDA his last time out, but seems like he's kind of in a position where he's fending off the newcomers. You know, he's gotten Ian Gary, he's gotten Shavkat Rakhmonov. Now he's got Carlos Prates. We'll see how that goes. Should be a stand-up banger. Both heavy, heavy hands. And let's see, Nikita Krylov, Dominic Reyes. That's nice for the 205 division. Dan Ige, Sean Woodson, Jan Janan versus Virna Jandiroba. We talked about her a little bit. We talked about Jan, so we're trying to find a little bit of, and I don't even know if it is, clarity for that strawweight division. And we'll talk about that here in a second because, of course, if you listen to the Picks with Cody, we talked about Zhang Weili moving up. Valentina Shevchenko got announced for a fight. So maybe not in the immediate plans, although this fight was one that we talked about. Jim Miller, Chase Hooper. I fucking love that fight too. Chase Hooper's been on a little bit of a tear, really kind of came into his own. He's getting a little, it's got to be what, 28, 29 at this point? Maybe not. He might just be a young freaking buck. I don't even know how old. Doesn't matter. Let's not lose too much focus here. Chase Hooper, it's the young man versus the old man. We'll see how that fares. And then we got UFC 315 announcements. Let's see, what did I have for that? Because I didn't have a picture. First of all, we're in Montreal, Canada. We already had the Natalia Silva Alexa Grasso fight, which I told you I love that fight. It's a fantastic stand-up battle between two really fun strikers. But then we got the main and the co-main event announced, a double feature title fight. That's going to be Bilal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena, who was already assigned to Leon Edwards. He was supposed to fight on UFC London. Apparently, Shavkat's been injured. He's been hurt. He couldn't get his, he couldn't get it together in time. So Jack Della Maddalena gets moved from UFC London. He's now fighting for a belt. Jack Della Maddalena coming off of a broken arm against Gilbert Burns in a fantastic knockout is going to be facing Bilal Muhammad for his first title defense. Fun fight there. I have to deep dive that one a little bit more to really get a pick. I think both men have their paths to victory. Of course, we assume Bilal's going to be the better grappler. We assume Jack's going to be the better striker. But then we got Valentina Shevchenko, Manon Fiorot, finally announced, which is, feels like about time. Manon's been out for a while, I think. Her last fight, March 30th of 2024. So it's been about a year, but she's coming off of wins over Rose Namajunas and then Erin Blanchfield back-to-back. So title shot well-deserved for Manon. And then a nice step for Valentina Shevchenko. This flyweight division is hot right now. We just talk about the top five here. Alexa Grasso, Natalia Silva, that's 1-5. They just got paired up. Manon versus a champion, she's 2. Blanchfield just fought and lost to Rose Namajunas, who's 6. How is Rose still ranked under? Oh, no, she beat Rose. She beat Rose in a decision. I completely am blanking out on that fight. How did that fight go? Why did I think Rose put on a freaking masterclass? I'm going to have to rewatch that because for whatever reason, I thought Rose won that. So Erin Blanchfield's still holding strong, baby. Maybe a matchup with Macy Barber. Macy Barber's been out for a while. I know she was hurt with something or another, but she hasn't fought since March of last year. Interesting. I don't know why I thought Rose won that fight. Maybe I'm just thinking of the Blanchfield and Manon fight because she did get kind of worked there. Did Rose get out grappled? I'm blanking on that fight so hard. That wasn't even that long ago. Interesting. Who knows? Who cares? But anyways, Shavkat's hurt. Jack Della Maddalena slides in. Oh, we got Sean Brady sliding into the UFC London spot. Another one that we talked about in the interview with Cody was what's up with Sean Brady. I said probably waiting on Kamaru Usman. Not the case. He's going to London. He's fighting Leon Edwards. I believe this is the fight that he was calling for originally. So good for Sean Brady. He's going to get that opportunity. He is only lost to the champion. His sole losses to the champion. Last time out, beat Gilbert Burns. So big opportunity for Sean Brady fighting the number one contender in that division, Leon Edwards. Not number one contender maybe, but you understand what I'm saying. He's currently number one in the rankings. And what else did we get? Oh, Gilbert Burns, Michael Morales finally got announced too. So we got the bottom half of that division is going to start moving. It's going to start moving. We got Carlos Prates fighting number 10, Jeff Neal. We have Michael Morales fighting number 8, Gilbert Burns. I told you, it's the year of the welterweights. This division is fucking stacked. Listen to it. Leon Edwards facing off against Jack Della Maddalena. Bilal Muhammad facing off against Leon Edwards facing off against Sean Brady. Bilal Muhammad facing off against Jack Della Maddalena. Kamaru Usman doesn't have a fight. Joaquin Buckley just beat Colby Covington. Ian Machado Gary and Shavkat, of course, had their fight. Interesting to see what happens next. Kind of feel like we're going to get the Joaquin Buckley and Ian Machado Gary fight announced at some point, only because it was already, you remember when Bilal fell out the first time with the toe. Ian was scheduled to fight Joaquin Buckley, and they both are coming off of big wins at, a week apart. So I think that matchup makes sense. But 1 through 7, realistically, 1 through 7, let's just talk about new blood. Shavkat hasn't fought for a belt. Jack Della Maddalena, Sean Brady, Joaquin Buckley, Ian Machado Gary, Michael Morales, Carlos Prates. That's 7 guys in your top 10 that realistically, like any one of these guys, if you told me they're the champion at the end of the year, I wouldn't be surprised. They all feel like they're one win away, one big win away. Maybe because it's so stacked, it might be more like 2 or 3, but you understand what I'm saying. They all kind of feel like they're one big win away from having a title shot. And it's only March, so we could see 2 more fights from the welterweight, whoever the champ's going to be, if it's Bilal Muhammad or otherwise. What a fucking time to be alive. I had to add. My camera battery's dying. I didn't even have time to charge, but what a fucking time to be alive. Mind blown today. Shout out to Dana White. Finally giving us a little piece of love. I was feeling there was nothing happening. I was hyping up Alexa Grasso and Natalia Silva. I was hyping up Moreno, Steve Erceg, and Joe Pyfer, Kelvin Gastelum. Those are the fights I was hyping up. But now we got this. My name is Bradley Gleason. That was Today in Combat. Peace, love, happiness. See ya, brother.